And there you have it. Baxter's jamming away to our new intro to that tune, that absolutely great tune. It's an absolute classic. I'm glad that we brought it back because the NRL should have definitely done the same thing. But we are here to talk about the Penrith Panthers taking on the Brisbane Broncos. It's the back-to-back Panthers kicking off their season at Friday night, 8:05 p.m. at Bluebet Stadium. They're at the foot of the mountain. Let's go through their lineup. It's Dylan Edwards. He's back. He survived that injury square. Sania Taruva, Isaac Targo, Stephen Crichton, Brian To'o, Jerome Luai, Nathan Cleary, Moses Leota, Mitch Kenny, James Fisher-Harris, Luke Garner, Liam Martin, Isaiah Yeo, Sonny Luke as the backup hooker, Scott Sorensen, Spencer Lenu, Jamin Salmon, and obviously Zach Hoskin in the 18th man. A very, very strong lineup. It almost, to me, looks a lot stronger than what they did go in obviously the cup against the English opponents. But what do you make of this team? Do you think they're going to be rusty with no Api Coruscant, no kick-out? Or do you really think they can kick on and go for that back-to-back that no team has done before in the NRL era?
Well, to say that, I think we've touched on in the preview when we touched on Penrith, to write them off as they're not going to be one of the favourites would be very silly. I think they'll be up there competing like they are for the last 3 years. To go triple crowners, it's going to be a hard task to do. But again, as well, you lose Appy, you lose Kikau. The year before that, they lose Capo and Burn. So, and again, next season they lose Cron and Spencer Liu. It's going to be just a roll-on effect just for these being so successful. I think it's a bit of a sad thing to do because they brought all their players through for the juniors, and now 21-22 they get to leave. They leave the club solely on the basis that they don't have really the salary cap space to keep all these players. Maybe, as I said, the NRL maybe need to look into that. But this team's good. On paper, you probably have it up as one of the best going around at the NRL right now before even a football was kicked. So it's hard to turn a blind eye to them and say that they're going to lose this match.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, 11 members of the starting 13 in last year's grand final will line up. Obviously, Taylor May, he has done his ACL. He does have a season-ending injury. Luke Garner obviously comes in for Viliama Kikau. So, yes, he probably didn't have the best season, Garner, last year, but the system he was in probably didn't allow him to at the Tigers. Coming into this, it's going to be catch the ball, do your job, get the big hit-ups, and let's see what happens. But for me, I think the big difference here is you're going to see is Api Coruscant not playing in this squad. The speed from dummy half's not going to be there. The explosiveness when he come on. So it'll be interesting to see how they do juggle this Mitch Kenny and Sonny Luke. But like you said, you're a brave man if you don't at least put him in that conversation for another grand final, another trophy. But moving on, I'll throw it across to you. It is the Brisbane Broncos. Go for it and let everyone know about that team list.
So you've got Seven Cobbo in the fullback role. We've got Corey Oates and Jesse Arms in this the winger role. Staggs and Farnworth in the centres. Ezra Mann and Adam Reynolds in the 6 and 7. Corey Jensen and Payne Haas make your front row with Billy Walters as the 9. Kurt Capehill and Jordan Ricky in the back row, and Pat Carrigan to pack the lock. You got Corey Pax as 14, Kieran Paul Assisia in 15. Oh my God, Thomas Flego in 16, Maid Powell at 17, and Diane Marina, I'm guessing that's how it is, in the 18 role at the moment. It could change as this is still 24 hours away before kickoff. Again, paper, this looks like a great squad. You could be pushing for top 8 if they can keep these, this 1 to 18 nice and healthy and fresh all the way through. But they they travel down to the Penrith Panthers at the foot of the mountains, and it's a hard task on game 1, opening night for the Penrith Panthers. I think the Penrith faithful have got a sellout crowd. I think they're doing a special pre-game celebration for the 2 premiership wins. So it's going to be good to see that. But man, oh man, for me, I'm going to go Penrith 1-12. As we touched on before, it'd be silly man to sort of turn a blind eye to them. But do not write off Brisbane. I think they will take the fight to them and give them all they got. But I think Penrith will win 1-12.
Yeah, well, obviously, this is probably one of the Broncos' strongest lineups, obviously minus Reece Walsh, who is nursing that fractured eye socket. So, Cobbo, I'm not saying he's not the player, but they need at fullback, but they're definitely going to look a lot stronger when they have Walshy Voyer. We saw that in the trials. He was absolutely dominant in that 20, 30-minute cameo that he did get. But I look here and they have the strike power. If Payne Haas, Kurt Capewell, Pat Carrigan, if they can really stand up and then you chuck a Thomas Flegler and a Marty Tapau against a very tired Panthers side, if it's the same we saw in the Club World Challenge, well, like you said, it's anyone's game. So I am going to follow you with Penrith. I am going to chuck in 13 plus. I think they've really got a point to prove after losing that Club Challenge. They're at home. They're in front of their faithful, like you said, and I think they will run away with this quite comfortably. But obviously for the Broncos fans, don't get too disheartened. We have you in that 8th to 12th round. 7th to 12th range. So I think there is a chance that you do play footballs at finals football at the end of the year. But Baxter, obviously you said there's a chance that they do finish in the top 8. Give me a 4-position range of where you think they will finish.
I think, 7, 8, 9, 10, really. Either they just miss out or they scrape in and play away the first week of the finals. But if there's a matchup in this game that you want to really, really, really want to watch, it's the 7 Colo versus Mr. Daddy in number 6, Jerome Luai for the Penrith Panthers. As you would, if you were metaphorically living under a rock here, Severin Colo was on a podcast and called Luai a grub for his hit on him in State of Origin Game 3 last year. So that's my little battle.
Well, let's be honest, he is a bit of a grub, but that's probably what makes him the player he is.
Penrith, I didn't say that. Tony said that.
I think it's true. I think they've said it. They all like that little bit of arrogance they do have at Penrith, and that's what's carrying them to those back-to-back trophies. So be interested to see how this one plays out. I'm not ruling out Broncos completely, but I do think Penrith get the job done quite convincingly. But Baxter, again, mate, thank you for joining me. Obviously, I don't know if you listened to the original podcast that we did do when you were having technical difficulties.
Yeah, I did. It looks
we will
good.
we will get 1 point for correctly predicting the team, and we'll get, I think, 2 or 3 bonus points. We'll discuss this off air if you get the margin correct at the same time. So we'll have a bit of fun. We'll have a bit of a competition, and we'll see how it goes at the end of the year. But Baxter, thank you for joining me, and we'll be back, obviously, with Super Saturday's game soon.
See you later.